Okay, continuing. Let's investigate this murder. This is where the magic box was struck. If Orwell wasn't inside the box at that moment, he might have dodged the falling water tank. Yes, indeed. Oh, I just need to do this. Oh, no, I don't.
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks?
Yeah, that does seem pretty suspicious. Either Lene didn't realize this was a safety concern, or
Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler?
this is a murder. I'm just looking at where the rope snapped.
Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left.
It seems to be flammable, like a type of flash cotton.
So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it, then that means... Wait, why don't you write all this down? Let's take notes.
Yep. Okay.
Hello there. What are you investigating?
This.
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troop members are currently considered prime suspects. The investigation team is still collecting evidence. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list.
Could you tell us who she is? We're Lenny and Lynette's attorneys.
Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The Magic Troop members all claim not to know her, and we have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troop at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
Thanks for letting us
No
know
need to be
that.
so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact us. It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Indeed. She might be the thief from earlier. We've got one more on stage. Here, magic box. The broken magic box was left on the scene after the Garrets completed their investigation. Looking at it now, the water tank must have struck it really hard. Indeed. Still up here, nope, one more.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector? There's something wrong with it?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Thanks, sorry for bothering you. Sorry to bother you.
Even though it's bad for Linny's case, Paimon had better write it down.
Not looking good for now, Nelly. Linny. It looks like an ordinary box, but Linny somehow moved instantly from the stage to begin inside of it. How did he do that? Who knows? Magician never reveals his secrets after all.
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to share them with me, alright?
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first? The way I see it. And I'll start it with that loud thud.
The thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Oh, that's very
Yes,
small
exactly.
bang.
It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
But why though?
That makes sense.
That
So,
doesn't.
what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank or something like that. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
It was not cut.
But wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing.
Then wouldn't the water tank have started to swing a bit in that case?
That's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
You didn't think about this much, did you?
That does remind Paimon, though. What was with that sound?
Could have bumped his elbow. Something. Doesn't seem important, but since they mentioned it, it probably is.
Linny's still talking to the guards. It seems he'll have a lot of explaining to do. I think
Yep.
someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but that's alright.
Well, if she's okay with all this. It appears to be it.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
She is
I'm
gorgeous.
Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No, no need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
This is just me. What are they asking
If you say
now?
so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rasula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand.
So you want to investigate as well?
That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too! That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition.
Okay.
Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she? But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Alima.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
Well, when you put it like
All
that,
right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute, did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
no.
Well?
Not always.
Why would that be?
Doing so makes it easy for the truth to fall by the wayside. Something serious like a trial shouldn't be treated like entertainment. I mean, it's fun like that, but this more so.
See, Silver and Malus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I too think that the Traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your answer. You passed with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Oh, well, I can be the assistant, sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
That's more like it.
Alright, I think you're missing the point, Paimon. Seems you've already agreed then.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
You have a point. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
Not really. Looks like Michael
I have
Jackson.
nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Linny's tricks. Thanks!
Okay. A little confused on who you are. And why your help being me and you're not. I don't know. Anyway.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case.
Calm down.
Are you always guarding this entrance?
So cute.
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection.
Fair enough.
So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on.
What about during the show?
I doubt there was much opportunity then, either.
How can you be so sure,
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Melusines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This will be useful info.
Okay. She's very
Everything
cute.
of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we?
A minute.
Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
She looks like My Little Pony sort of thing. And I don't understand why what they do with the animals where they wear shirts but they don't wear pants. Anyway. Good, no. Going back, alright, going back inside, that's what she said. My mom said.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower.
Didn't say that.
Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and will be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back of the door isn't the same.
Back?
Is it?
You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get?
Wait, does that mean there's another box inside this one?
Exactly.
So it's so big.
Alright, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
And this passage links the 2 boxes together.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely.
Hello,
The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside
I don't know how to say
and be
Kim.
moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
How are you liking Genshin Genshin Quest so far? Sorry, my eyes aren't working, I guess. Yeah, it's good. I'm actually really interested in it. I like it. I really like it. Thank you. Yeah, I just met Navia, and she is gorgeous. I sent you a follow. I got to support the fellow Genshin small creators. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We are investigating a murder. So I was streaming this quest yesterday. It is so fun. It is. It's really interesting. I really like it. Love the little hello. What is it? My Little Pony little creatures that look like My Little Pony. So I'd say Hello Kitty. That's not right. Yeah, I like it.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was loaded,
How are you liking
the
it?
trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Then what about your side of the trick?
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
I love playing detective. I was telling my inner Nancy Drew, yeah. It is interesting. I think the girl that was chosen by random, well, I guess it was kind of by random. I feel like Lena didn't have anything to do with it. I think the girl was the thief from earlier, the beginning of the quest. But that's a given anyway. But I'm pretty stupid, so I'm proud that I can figure that out.
Yes, a phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect.
A what?
My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
Like Taylor Swift, that's pretty cute. I didn't even think about that, but now you mention it, that's pretty accurate. Yeah. Taylor Swift, that's interesting.
And what about Lynette?
Yeah.
Where was she?
Yeah, I can see it, that's funny.
Space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
That's a good question, I don't really know. I like these two. Nevaeh. No, not Nevaeh. Navia. I don't know how to say it. Kind of like a tire. Would the character be one of those little cute little pony characters? Would that count? So like them, they're very cute.
So
It's hard to say.
it all worked. Wow.
I love the
Every
little
detail you revealed was more amazing than the last.
the dogs in the the guard armor. That's very, very cute. That's how it worked. Wow. Okay, I can tell a lot of thought was put into this.
Lynette would briefly walk
Indeed.
out of the box and then go back in.
Yeah, like bunnies.
jumping
That's really
into the
cute.
tunnel and escaping before the box
I
on the
do
trolley
love
could
her
finish a
glasses.
sentence.
It fits the
And then
face
I walk out of the other box
perfectly.
in the audience area.
It is so
and the
cute.
trick
I
would
hope she
be
never takes it
complete.
off.
The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around?
How could they?
I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Foreshadowing.
Everyone, we're counting on you.
The magic trick. Secret Palmer, yeah. She's doing good job so far. Not doing much though. Am I supposed to be down here? Yes. Oof, that's a lot. Yeah, I guess I do like it. But so far, I've just gotten into it. I think in the Sumeru Archon quest, you did kind of play detective in a way, trying to figure out the dream sequence sort of thing, and that was kind of fun to put it together yourself. I guess I kind of, I don't know. Anyway, this should be the control device for the trolley. Do you like it? Did you like it? I think you said you liked it before. A little punk, yeah, that's what you said. It seems to be able to operate automatically. Yeah. This one. The ladder. No. No, yes, examine. No. Shit. You're right, I didn't think of Samira like that. Can I go back down? Didn't mean to do that. Okay. I think it was putting together, like, what the dream sequence, whatever it was. Examine ladder. Ladder is required in order to enter magic box. Very observant. What else? What's this? Grappling hook.
What's this?
Grappling hook.
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
Lenny didn't mention this earlier.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
I do remember doing the similar quest, and you did like the what option it was. And it was like 3 and I got all of them wrong. So that was embarrassing. Okay.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
There's certainly weird. What was it for? Trick.
It's one of those tricks where you pour
Ah,
water
yeah.
into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear.
Guess that trick didn't work.
Here's a broken vase. Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
True.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
Seems very unimportant, but okay. And there's clothes right here.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right?
No.
Clothes are here, but she's nowhere to
I thought
be
she was wearing
found.
something lighter. And it didn't mention the guests having a wardrobe change.
And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them?
Maybe she escaped as one of the guards.
Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Stealing her clothes. So that's that. The track. High pressure. Something is required to complete this magic show, and tracks are perfect for making the trolley stay on its desired course. Yep, stealing her clothes. Well, I mean, she doesn't need it anymore, does she? Ooh, event, she could skip through that. Very possible. All kinds of props and costumes are haphazardly stuffed inside. Are there any characters in Fontaine you're looking forward to getting? Good question. I don't know. I don't really know much about the other characters yet. So I really don't know. What about you? I guess maybe the Archon. The trolley is critical for transporting the magic box to the other side. The culprit must have used this to execute their plans. And the vent, which makes sense. The vent.
It seems someone could fit through here.
Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
Who's... What's that first one you said? I don't know. I can't remember who she is. But Farina is the Archon, isn't she? Other than those that go through the magic box, Lenny and Lynette were in the two magic boxes.
You're right! Let Paimon write that down.
Confused.
Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
I mean, just about.
Let's head back up.
Okay. 10.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. It seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that
I'm
are
newish.
very
I've been
low,
streaming for
since the
a couple
vent leads to
years.
the opera house's basement.
So,
the guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnel's become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
it would seem so.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable.
Indeed.
No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
She doesn't seem very
In other words,
smart,
the
so
charges are very likely to be upheld
just saying it
unless
for the
they make
drama.
some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
Completely forgot about Chief Justice. He seems very anime, very like what you'd think of an anime male character. That the Chief Justice, that's exactly who you think. Very serious, very interesting, very mysterious, I guess. I don't know. I just thought, yeah, that's definitely, yeah. I think you're a very chill streamer. Well, thank you so much. I'm not very good at conversation, but thank you. Do you stream? I think you said you stream. How long have you been streaming for? Let me stalk you a bit. 2 years ago. I'll do you a favor, I'll follow you. Cool. Oh, last year, okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, no worries. Turn in a favor, it's the least I can do. The Ortoric will do.
That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
I do play other games, a variety. I've been kind of getting pretty into Euro Truck Simulator. Something about that is just very satisfying. Not much else recently. I guess like simulator kind of games I like. How about you? What do you play other than Genshin? Fascinating.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neuvillette called the shots.
In practice, there is very little
there's Chief Justice
Both
Neuvillette.
always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice.
Oh yeah, that's
Yes,
a nice
the
variety.
guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Yeah, it's very cute. It's always a surprise looking at it, like, you forget that she's wearing that.
That said, are they providing food?
Of course. Mention that.
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all
That'll be my
tastes is
screensaver
not in
soon.
the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
No, now's not the time to be picky.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Very true.
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
I'm on.
Just kidding! Just kidding! Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
We'll see how that goes.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
simply make some?
Here? But how?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
To a kitchen?
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
That's just in your pocket?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
Personal chef.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Let's bring the whole damn kitchen. A portable stove.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it.
I know,
Sit
it's
tight for a
crazy.
moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snack soon enough.
And that stove, that's the biggest.
Yeah,
That's
quite the interesting group.
2 Paimons, basically. Must be a Spina de Rosula thing.
And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling. From the way you
In
have
French
these
dessert.
guys carrying all that stuff around,
I think this is French, I don't know.
you do more during the baking process.
And what are the macaroons? I think they are. That's French, right?
But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites,
Oh
grinding
yeah.
almonds,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
That's not what quiet Paimon. That's not quite what Paimon and oh my god.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
Good point.
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and
She's-
play the piano.
She's just saying don't
I
get
just really
worried if you
enjoy
get it
making
dirty.
snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try, fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Well, they're massive. Calm down.
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite.
It's not a
Strong
snack
black
for
tea
them
with a
being this
floral
huge.
fragrance
It's
that
a meal.
clears the mind and lifts the
They look like colourful burgers. That's what they look like. Thank you. Why don't you take a break as well?
No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
Sound like you swore for a minute. Thought, okay, that's not very
All right, then.
Genshin.
Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
Yeah. Apart from the twins, we've left with 2 other people, the missing girl and the deceased.
Flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance
Yeah.
could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction.
So is she
Perhaps the
naked
criminal
somewhere?
thought
Is that
since
what's
she was
happened?
chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Hmm.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble
Is that she's naked somewhere? There's no evidence that this third person even exists.
True. None of the clues we found thus far
Oh.
support the existence
What
of
a
this
twist.
third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowl.
Didn't Paimon, she read it like a mystery book, like, oh, who knew this was a murder all along? I forgot what she said, but that would be interesting if they included that into this, and maybe one of these people are the murderer, the murderee. That'd be very Genshin. Even so, they've done
modifications to the magic
little twists like that
in
before.
order to murder Cowl before making her
think.
escape?
But she had no way of knowing how the magic trick worked.
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off.
And then I
She
did
has
say
any motive.
that a
The
thief
guard
and a
said that she has
magician
never
are
had
kind
any
of
dealings with the magic troop's members.
like one and the same. That's what Lene said.
Were we not thorough enough in our
Love to sugarcrust, they do.
This is turning
They
into an
do.
impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet!
I've loved to try macaroon. People say
You
it
are
tastes
my
bad though.
specialty, after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right! Paimon only counted 3! Honest!
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No! Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
You're a bad detective if you don't know how much you ate. It's fine. If you ate them, you ate them. Oh, it's fine. Everyone knows how much you love to eat.
Wait, even you don't believe Paimon?
Yeah, that's true.
You? If
I don't know if you hear I said earlier that this guy, the other guy, kind of looks like Michael Jackson, so Alfred and Michael Jackson, what an interesting cameo.
Alright, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Malus, set up the stove again if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Oh, there's really no need to do that.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
Hmm.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
You did say that already.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Like sugar and almonds. Is that all it takes to make macaroons? He's a macaroon thief. Yeah, that's another case that needs to be
I'm going
closed.
to have another look around the area.
Needs to be opened.
I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
Alright, thanks for your help, and for the snacks.
She did mention eggs, and the other guy didn't say he had eggs, so.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus,
I think you're right. I think these might be the evil people.
I'll be back if I find anything new.
There we go.
It's time to put our heads in.
So 8. Ooh, on the dot. I love doing that. Okay. Where I took a break, lol, so I'm gonna head over. Yeah, probably don't want to spoil anything for yourself. Yeah, thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate it. Have a good one. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your stream. I'll come back, check the VODs once I complete the guys. Oh, that's not necessary, but thank you so much. I might check out one of your streams too. Yeah, thank you so much again. Have a good one. Yeah, no worries. Have a good one. Nice to chat with you.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing.
It is. I do have some thoughts. Let's take things step by step.
Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest,
Messy.
you might be disappointed.
we found out another case
No,
that the others might be
we're
evil
already
too.
very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course.
Came back with a whole lot
The
more.
guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Just you
Since
wait.
both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
It's a good point. You
That
kept
is
on
simply
talking so
your
much.
hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
How could Linney not know about that sound?
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
They're probably representing the Auratus's stance on the trial.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The
The
House
what?
of the Hearth?
They're Fatui?
No wonder they
How the
did
turns
something
tabled.
like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what
That's
happened
like
on
Charlotte's
stage
here.
probably wasn't just an accident.
That fucker. Oh,
That's
damn.
irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
That's also a good point.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy.
Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Putting it after he. Not necessarily.
Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second,
Man, he was
you
in
and
the
Ms.
box.
Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
I'm not good at paying attention. There's no doubt about a magician's ability to con others. Given how Lenny has sealed his identity, this could all have been set up beforehand. Last child was in Fontaine, Fontaine along with other house whatever. There must be some scheme at work. Perhaps. I'll be a victim of such schemes before and now.
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry.
I don't remember him being involved.
Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Ooh, shit.
I knew it!
Damn.
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Mission to speak, Your Honor.
Granted.
My client has withdrawn some key information. My defense cannot.
In that case, what is your request?
I request a brief or adjournment. There are things that must be discussed.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived
Like
their own
that.
attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
A recess.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
She is loving this with her toothbrush hair. I'm feeling that the Hydra Archon might be a bit evil, not just a very outgoing personality.
Well,
You have to see it for yourselves.
this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Please don't be another child, I don't like him.
Sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad!
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Vitui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how can we know this isn't all just another lie?
So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry.
Please forgive us.
I'll think about it.
Well, you both say that, but
Explain the other issue first. Where did you actually go while the trick was being performed?
right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
And what did you find?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came.
The audience member.
On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Hmm.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
But why do you want to why do you want to understand how the orifice works?
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
I still don't
That's
trust
the only
you.
way we can save everyone.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
There you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It
I
was
didn't
never
believe
my
you,
wish
but
to
I'm sure
proceed under this
I
cloud
will.
of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow
I
your
mean,
lead
if I leave-
wherever you choose.
Yeah, like if I leave, it's not gonna. This will end. I believe in the facts. No, I don't. I'll defend you from these charges. I believe that judgment will be dispensed as it should.
Okay, thank you.
You should get
Thanks
raid.
for giving us a chance.
The current
Kinda
problem
have
is
to.
that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro
Very.
Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Actually, we already have the key evidence we need. What is that? The German is almost over. Let's go back. It's been an hour already.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
I need some crazy. Yeah. The voice. Interesting. I wonder if I had to put it together first. That's something that I would like to do. Although I'd probably be very bad at it. Though I don't mind getting spoon-fed all the and my hand held through all this. Sometimes a bit of challenge can be nice.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Based on the... Oh yeah, we do get to put it together. Based on the observation account of events of events, you can identify loopholes in the statement. Use evidence and clues obtained during the investigation to refute any erroneous something I can't read a fact and replace them with new inferences. Use your reflections to convince the audience and obtain more support from the people. The aura trick will displace such shifts clearly. When you find and refute all incorrect content, you can complete the cycle of refutation and unveil the truth. Okay.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her.
I mean, that doesn't make sense because that's a huge vase.
At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that straight so Lenny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Lenny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Lenny experienced, and what he saw.
Okay. Lenny entered the tunnel. Lenny entered the tunnel as the countdown began. Lenny entered the tunnel. Claimed that he headed to the and did not witness the crime taking place, and thus did not hear the thud.
Seems this won't produce.
No. So I need to finish the entering the tunnel. During the medic shown after the incident happened, only the no. Well, I'm a bit confused on this, so maybe this one doing it. Well, I don't know. Okay, so I see. Okay, what was this one again? Lenny not ants. Okay, well, I'm confused on this one. So he entered the tunnel. There was that sound was third. Remember he had it. Maybe you should pay attention to the blue. And is the crime taking place in the third? I don't know what this could be forever. Okay.
According to Lenny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Okay. However, was Lenny in it? Okay. So, whether Lenny was only really in the tunnel? Yes. No. The existing evidence that would Lenny the crime had already taken place. But this is what we need to resolve. chamber.
Hmm.
No. This is sort of like a he said she said situation, so these don't really make a whole lot of sense to end it.
Lenny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
This is why I'm confused, because it's a he said she said situation. So saying what he said she said doesn't matter really. Okay, so that's what I'm connecting. Okay, evidence. What is this?
Lenny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
This isn't making sense to me. Why?
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say!
Go for it,
When the
Paimon.
countdown started, Lenny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent!
I guess we have to make a statement that makes sense. My brain isn't working today.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that! Wasn't it awesome?
Incredible.
You believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
Moreover, I believe my opponent's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
On the on-stage equipment was clearly tampered with in a ridiculous fashion. However, you say that Cole bumped into Lenny by chance.
If that's the case, then if Carol hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Lenny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Yeah, but I don't think you said anything about Carol.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Nothing. You remember how you refuted Lenny's alibi intentionally?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Your claim has now become my weapon. And it's now become a critical clue. So what am I doing? These are relevant, okay. Which is the evidence that Lenny wasn't in the tunnel when the... Okay.
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Paimon thinks...
Okay. So let me think about this instead of just doing the guessing game. Which is the evidence that Lenny wasn't in the tunnel when the crime took place? Strange sound. No.
sure we don't need
Okay,
to give
well,
this more...
why is this one strange noise? Okay. So she said.
Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well played.
To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
The thief. The murderer was the gal. I didn't think I was going to use my brain today. The guards investigation report incidents that the fireworks released near the end of the show, indicating and burnt through the rope, suspecting the water tank above the stage. This caused the water tank to fall and kill. Lenny is no longer under suspicion. Only the other members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. I did go into the trick. Supposed to work by using a box inside the box. The idea was to be transported across via a tunnel underneath. Lenny himself could also use a tunnel on the other side. Having changed her clothes, Lenny, her assistant, could take charge of on-stage instances. Scenes were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown.
Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility? The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member.
Maybe this one.
His name is Cowell.
Nice. Good.
Huh? That can't be right. Are you serious?
Don't think about it.
The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Oh, is that so? How interesting!
I'm thinking,
Let's
why would he
hear
do that when
your
he got killed?
reasoning, then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
I don't know. Honestly, how can we how Cal's planning situations at the tunnel? How can we ensure Lenny is...
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our the deceased's name is Cowell. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that no one entered or left the opera house through its entrance. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between them.
No, I didn't think so. Okay.
No one entered or left. Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which the sound we heard may have come from. It would have been tough for both people to fit into. The deceased's name is Cowell.
I have no idea. Okay, so that's correct.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. No one entered or left the opera house through its. It would have been tough for both. No one entered or.
Well, there's only two choices.
The deceased's name is.
You're the prime suspect.
It would have been tough for both. Halsey's clothing was in the...
Well, give me no choice. I don't know. I must have... My brain isn't working. Leaving aside how he died, Cal had all the means to commit the crime at his disposal. It would have likely been the sound of Cal and Halsey struggling. Lenny was not in the tunnel for 1 minute. This could have given time for Cal to bring Hazel out of the magic box into the audience. No one would have entered or left, so... Exiting from the box would have been in full view of the audience, pretty much guaranteeing that they would have been discovered.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Where in the world did Hazley go?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
I don't know, I'm bad at this.
Halsey disappeared. Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Magic. Separate from the water tank. Wait, could it have been the water?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents. But do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Hold on a second.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to
Where did Tilly go missing?
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that. The vase was not broken by chance. It was...
Water.
Oh, Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment.
Or do
How
I?
could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
I request that we examine Cal's personal effects. We might find something there.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about 2 completely different things.
What are we?
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowell.
I don't know why we didn't search him anyway.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl...
I mean hard water stains.
Just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
Yes, the cane.
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Okay. Who's a prime suspect currently?
The deceased's name is
What item did the culprit use to control the timing of the dissolve? This one?
The water from the primordial...
What item did the culprit use to... Oh. Okay.
The water from the primordial sea should... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick.
Switch.
The water
It's
from the
this
primordial...
one. I don't know what the hook... I'm not paying attention. What item did the culprit use to hide the mechanical behind the scene?
The rope that held the water tank.
That isn't... Okay. I'm getting there. Okay.
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else.
Okay, it's...
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. After Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be.
Twists and turns everywhere.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow
Oh, she had to use it to dissolve the water as well.
and bring this performance to a swift close.
Hold on there. Hold on there. Hold on there.
Linny did not
My
need
brain's
to
working
take
now.
part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime. Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization. Am I right, Mr. Linny?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
Okay, so my theory
Oh no!
didn't.
Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this.
I mean, I don't know how you. This is all messy.
Using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
My brain is not working once again.
This have to happen now.
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view,
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss,
Taylor
I
Swift.
must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lenny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry.
Oh, that's what
Spina
they're
di
doing.
Rosula has made the necessary arrangements on your
But-
behalf.
Oh, this is not
As the
right,
magic makers
but
and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
you're right.
And voila.
Ah,
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial.
because you would.
I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
So where were
Where
you?
should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there, and I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was
I
the
thought
one
so.
who caught me in the act.
But this would go full
You
circle.
look familiar. So you were the thief! Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
If they're a practice hand at concealment, probably professional thief could make it work.
But I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Some things, yeah. Yeah, but now it's time to refute the Archon's
This time,
previous
we
reasoning.
need to tell the entire story from Lily-Ann's perspective.
Okay. He did jump down. He did, so... So, they dissolved. Yeah.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lily-Ann's attempt to break out when she
Okay.
was frightened.
So... the fight. Yeah.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but it was smashed during the struggle between Lily...
And...
Lily-Ann and was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowl leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowl out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended. She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward, so she has been trapped in the Opera House these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow, look at that! She's like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowl, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowl thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowl entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Guess that sort of makes sense.
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Let's not celebrate it just yet.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
He turned into water.
And now he can no longer talk.
Hang on. That's true.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
An outrageous act.
Did he do that or
All
someone
present,
else?
Please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now?
Well, seems to have been solved for now. Not needed here anymore.
That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But
That's
still,
why I'm turned back to you.
let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
I just didn't wish to see anyone be falsely accused. I just wanted to be sure that we're square.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Damn. Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
Billions. So what happened after
I
that?
managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
That's all in the past, though. The knave is after the Gnosis, isn't she?
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
I'm sorry, but I still can't completely trust you.
It's alright, I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
I understand. Goodbye.
Bye, Linny.
Let the glasses go. That's sad. I'm confused. Taylor Swift.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
Well, I'm sorry, Navi.
Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Navia. I was really only trying to defend Linne. I wasn't necessarily looking into serial disappearance cases.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah. I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer. Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Well, if you say so, let's go have a meal then.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navia's treating, count Paimon in!
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the Court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
All right then, let's have our farewell meal!
Eat. Okay, I guess I'll leave it here. Thank you. Well, that was a bit confusing. Where the hell am I? Not over here. Guess I'm in a building. That's confusing, but Red isn't working today. I might not, but I might look back on it to see, because I didn't understand a lot of it. I thought I would like and enjoy that detective thing, but yes, it does sound bad at it. Didn't really understand how it worked, I guess. But like I said, my brain's not really working. But yeah, that's very interesting. Definitely twists and turns, as Genshin is known for, I guess. Yeah, until next time.